Ω τάφο μου, ω νησιατικό μου, ω αιώνια βαθιά στην γη χαμένη κατοικία μου. Για σένα τώρα ξεκινώ να πάω προς τους δικούς μου, που ένα πλήθος έχει δεχτεί από αυτούς η Περσεφόνη. Στερνή τους τώρα εγώ και πολύ πιο άθλια πριν έρθει ακόμα η ώρα μου πηγαίνω.
There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise. There is no happiness where there is no wisdom but in submission to the gods. Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise.
Ismini! Dear sister. You would think we had suffered enough for the curse on Oedipus. I cannot imagine any grief that you and I have not gone through, and now the already told you the new decree of our good King Creon?
I have heard nothing. I know that 2 sisters lost 2 brothers, a double death in a single hour, and I know that the Argive army fled in the night. But beyond this, nothing.
Thought so. But that is why I've asked you here. There's something we must do.
Why do you speak so strangely?
Listen, Ismene. Creon buried our brother Eteocles with military honours. Gave him a soldier's funeral, and it was right that he should, but Polynices, they fought as bravely, and he died as miserably. They say that Creon has ordered that no one will bury him, that no one will mourn for him, but that his body must lie in the fields. A sweet treasure for carrion birds to find as they search for food. That is what they say, and our good King Creon is coming here to announce it publicly. And the penalty? Stoning to death. There it is. But now, you can prove what you are, a true sister, or a traitor to your family.
You're mad, Antigone. What could I possibly do?
You must decide whether you will help me or not.
I don't understand. You help you in what?
Ismene, I'm going to bury him. Will you come?
Bury him? You just said that the new law forbids it.
He's my brother. He's your brother too.
But think of the danger. Think of what Creon might do.
No, think. Creon's not enough to stand in our way.
Sister Oedipus died, everyone hating him for what his own search brought to light. His eyes ripped out by his own hands. And Iocaste died. His mother and his wife at once. She twisted the cords that strangled her life, and our 2 brothers died, each killed by the other's sword. And we are left, Antigone. Oh, but think how much more terrible than these our deaths should be if we went against Creon and did what he is forbidden. We're only women. We can't fight with men, Antigone. Now the law is strong, and we must abide by the law, in this thing and in worse. I pray the dead to forgive me, but I must yield to those in authority. And I think it's dangerous business to always be meddling.
That's what you think? I should not want you. Even if you asked to come. You've made your choice. You can be what you want to be. But as for me, I will bury our brother, and I shall be as dear to him as he was to me. It is the living, not the dead, who make the longest demands. We die forever! You can do what you want, since apparently the laws of God mean nothing to you.
They mean a great deal to me, but I have no strength to go against laws that were made for the public good.
An excuse, I suppose. But as for me, I will bury your brother.
I'm so afraid for you, Antigone.
You need not be. You have yourself to consider, after all.
But no one must hear of this. You must tell no one. I'll keep it a secret, I promise.
No. Tell it. Tell everyone. Think how they will hate you when they find that you knew about this the whole time.
So fiery, you should be cold with fear.
Perhaps. But I'm only doing what I must, what we must.
But can you do it? I say you cannot.
Very well. When my strength gives out, I shall do no more.
Impossible things shouldn't be tried at all, Antigone.
Go away, Ismene. I shall be hating you soon. And the dead will too, for your words are hateful. Go then, leave me my foolish plan. I'm not afraid of the danger. If I'm to die, it would not be the worst of deaths. A death without honour.
Go then, if you think you must. You're so unwise. But a good friend to those who love you.
Now the long blade of the sun, lying level east to west.
Open, unlidded.
Eye of golden day.
Touch of the glory.
Cross the eddy and rush of Dursey stream,
Striking the white shields of the enemy. Flowing headlong backwards from the blaze of morning.
Polynices, their commander.
He, the wild eagle screaming, insults above our land.
His wings are shields of snow, the crest of marshalled helms.
Against the 7 gates in yawning ring,
Their famished spears came onward through the night.
But before our blood was chased with his jaws.
Oh, a pine fire to the galling of our towers.
He was thrown headlong back, and as he turned, great Thebes,
no tender victim for his noisy power,
Rose like a dragon behind him, shouting war.
We heard a shout of triumph high in the air.
He turned to a scream, far out in a flaming fire.
he fell with his windy torch, the earth struck him, others marched in fury no less than his.
But in the dusty joy of battle,
7 captains at 7 gates.
Yielding his arms to the god.
these two, only brothers in blood,
Face to face in matchless rage.
mirroring each other's death,
Clashed
in long combat. But in the beautiful morning of victory,
Let thieves
Thieves
of
sing
many
with
chariots
chariots,
sing
sing
for
for
joy.
joy.
With hearts for dancing we take leave of war,
Our
and
temples
shall be sweet with hymns of praise, and the long night shall carry with our chorus.
Oh, Antigone, how I have longed to see you!
Frightened me, I thought you were the guard.
If the guards were to lay a finger on you, I'd have their heads, for you are mine, Antigone, and mine alone.
Oh, no, not yet. I'm not. I'm free as a bird. You know, don't you? The news?
Yes, I have heard. Why do you think that I am here?
No. No, my love, absolutely not. I cannot have you help me in this. This is something I must do alone.
This is something you must do, but why must you do it alone?
The punishment would be far worse if you were to be found helping me.
Being without you is punishment enough, Antigone. I would die for you.
Very well then, but you will not help. Come if you wish, but hurry, we're losing light.
But now,
at last,
a new king is coming, Creon of Thebes, Menecus' son. In this auspicious dawn of his reign, what are the new complexities that shifting fate has woven for him? What is his counsel? Why has he summoned the old men to hear him?
Gentlemen,
I have the honor to inform you that our ship of state, which recent waters have threatened to destroy, has arrived safely at harbour at last, guided by the merciful wisdom of heaven. I have summoned you here this morning because I know I can depend upon you. Your devotion to King Laius was absolute. You never hesitated in your duties to our late ruler Oedipus. And when Oedipus died, your loyalty transferred to his children. Unfortunately, as you know, his two sons, Eteocles and Polynices, have killed each other in battle, and I, as a next in blood, have succeeded to the full power of the throne. I am aware, of course, that no ruler can expect complete loyalty from his subjects until he has been tested in office. Nonetheless, I say to you from the very outset that I have nothing but contempt for the kind of governor who's afraid, for whatever reason, to do what he knows is best for the country. And as for the man who sets private friendship above the public welfare, I have no time for him either. I call God to witness, if I saw my country headed for ruin, I would not be afraid to speak up plainly. And I need hardly remind you that I'll have no dealings with an enemy of the people. No one values friendship more highly than I, but we must remember that friends made at risk of wrecking our ship are not real friends at all. These are my principles, at any rate. And that is why I have made the following decision on the sons of Oedipus. Eteocles, who died as a man should, fighting for his country, shall be buried with full military honours and all the ceremony that is usual when the greatest heroes die. But his brother, Polynices, who broke his exile to come back with fire and sword against his native city and the shrines of his father's gods, whose one idea was to spill blood of his blood and sell his own people into slavery, Polynices, I say, gets no burial. No man is to touch him or say the least prayer for him. He is to lie on the plain unburied, and the birds and the scavenging dogs can do with him whatever they like. These are my principles, and this is my command, and you can see the wisdom behind it. Whilst I am king, no traitor is going to be honoured with the loyal man. But he who shows by word and deed that he is on the side of the state, you will have my respect whilst he is living, and my reverence when he is dead.
If that is your will, Creon, Menik's son, you have every right to enforce it. We are yours.
We are yours.
That is my will. Take care that you do your part.
We are too old. Let the younger ones carry it out.
I do not mean that. The sentries have been appointed.
Then what is it that you would have us do?
You will show no support for whoever breaks the law.
Only a crazy man is in love with death.
And death it is. But money talks, and the wisest have sometimes been known to count a few coins too many.
I'll say that I'm not a bit of a winning king, because every time I think about what I'm going to say, I go back, and all the time a voice kept saying, "You fool, don't you know you want yourself straight into trouble?" And another voice, "Yes, but you went someone telling you the Creon first, everything worse than it for you." But good sense won out. I mean, I hope it was good sense. But here I am with a story that makes no sense at all, but I'll tell it anyhow. Because as they say, what's gonna happen happens, and
Come to the point, what have you to say?
I did not do it. I did not see who did it. You must not punish me when someone else has done.
A comprehensive defence. More effective, perhaps, if I knew its purpose. Come, what is it?
A dreadful thing. I don't know how to
Out
put it.
with it.
Well then, the dead man, Polynices, out there somewhere, new dust is slimy fresh. Someone has given a body away and gone and the
man who dared do this?
I swear I do not know. You must believe me. Listen, the ground was dry. No sign of digging, no. No real track of the dust. No trace of anyone. It was when they were reading this morning. The corporal pointed to it. The strangers, there it was. Look! The body just buried over there in the white dust, you see. Not buried away, but just added and covered it. And just enough of a ghost piece, and there's no sign of any dog or wild animal had been there. And there, what I seen there was every man of us accused one another. We all proved that we could not have done it. We all proved that we could not, our man could have done it. We were ready to walk through fire, swear by all the gods. It was not I don't know who it was, but it was not I. And somebody said a thing that Simon said, make it root down to the ground. You had to be told the news, and someone had to do it. We threw the dice, and the bad luck fell to me. So here I am. No happier to have me. Nobody likes the man who brings bad news.
I've been thinking, King. Do you think this could be of the gods that have done this?
Stop! Must you doddering wrecks go out of your minds entirely? The gods. Intolerable. The gods favor this corpse. Why? How had he served them? Tried to loot their temples, burn their images? Yes. And the whole state and its laws with it. Is it your senile opinion that the gods love to honor bad men? A pious thought! No. From the very beginning, there have been those that have whispered against me. Stiff-necked anarchists, putting their heads together, scheming in alleys. These are the men. And they have bribed my own guard to do this thing. Find that man. Bring him here to me, or your death will be the least of your issues. I'll string you up alive, and you will find that there are ways to make you discover your employer before you die. And the process will teach you a lesson you seem to have missed. The deer's profits are sometimes all too dear, that depends on the source. Do you understand me? Fortunes won are often misfortunes.
King, may I speak?
Your very voice distresses me.
Are you sure that it is my voice and not your conscience?
By God, he wants to analyse me now.
It is not what I say and what is being done that hurts you.
You talk too much.
Maybe, but I've done nothing.
Sold your soul for some silver. That's all you've done.
How dreadful it is when the right judge judges wrong.
Your play on words may entertain you now. But unless you find me that man, you get very little profit from them in the end.
Bring me the man. I weigh nothing in bringing him the man. But bring him or not. You have seen the last of me here. At any rate, I am safe.
show this is the Princess Antigone. Why should she be taken?
Here is a woman. We caught her in the very act of burying them. Where was Creon?
Just coming from the house.
What has happened? Why have you come back so soon?
Oh, King, a man would have sworn not to see me here again. Your anger frightened me so, and the things you threatened me with. But how can I tell then I would able to solve the case so soon? No doubt for this time. I was only too glad to come. Here is the woman. We caught her in the very act of burying them. Take her, then question her, and judge her as you will. I am through with the whole thing of it and glad of it.
But this is Antigone. Why have you brought her here?
She was burying him, I tell you.
Is this the truth?
I saw her with my own eyes. Can I say more?
Come, the details. Tell me quickly.
It was like this. After all those terrible threats, you king, we went back and brushed the dust away from the body. The flesh was sopping now and stinking. So we sat the hill windward and kept guard. No napping happened until the light of the sun circled over us. And suddenly, a storm of dust rolled up from the air, and the sky went out and the plain vanished all its trees in the stinging dark. We closed our eyes and endured it. The women lasted a long time, but it passed. And then we looked. And there was Antigone. I have seen a mother bird crying a bit of a broken note or two, just so when this girl found a bare body and all her world was wasted. She wept and cried on heaven that has done this damn thing. And she brought more dust. And she speckled it 3 more times for a Pharaoh's ghost. We ran and took her to her once. She was not afraid. Not even when we charged her what she has done. She denied nothing. And this was comfort to me, and some easiness, for it is a good thing to escape from death, but it is no great pleasure to bring death to a friend. Yet, I always say, there's nothing so comfortable in your safe old skin.
And you, Antigone, you with your head hanging. Do you confess this thing?
I do. I deny nothing.
You may go. Tell me briefly. Had you heard my proclamation touching the matter?
It was public. Could I help hearing it?
And yet you dared to break the law.
I did. It was not God's proclamation. That final justice that rules the world down below holds no such loss. Your edict, King, was strong. But all his strength is weakness itself against the immortal, unrecorded laws of God. They are not merely now. They are and shall be operative forever, beyond man utterly. And I knew I must die, even without your decree. And if I must die now, before it is my time to die, surely this is of no hardship to me. Can anyone, living as I live, with evil all about me, think death less than a friend? This death of mine is of no importance, but if I had left my brother lying in death unburied, I should have suffered. Now I do not. You smile at me. Creon. Think me a fool, if you like. but it may well be that a fool convicts me of folly!
Like father, like daughter.
Both headstrong and deaf to reason.
She has never learned to yield.
Oh, she has much to learn. An inflexible heart breaks first. The toughest iron cracks first. And the wildest horses bend their neck at the pool of the smallest curb. Pride in a slave. This girl is guilty of a double insolence, breaking the given laws and then boasting about it. Who is a man here? She or I, if I let this crime go unpunished? Sister's child, or more than sister's child, or closer yet in blood. She and her sister win bitter deaths for this. Go! Some of you, arrest this meanie. I accuse her equally of this. You'll find her sniffling in the house there. Her mind's a traitor. Crimes kept in the dark cry for the light, and the guardian brain shudders. But so much worse than this is brazen boasting of bare-faced anarchy.
Creon, what more could you possibly want than my death?
Nothing. That gives me everything.
Then, I beg you, kill me! This talking is a great weariness to me. Your words are distasteful to me, and I'm sure mine seem so to you. And yet they should not seem so. I should have praise and honour for what I have done. All these men here would agree with me with their tongues not frozen shut in fear of you.
You are the only one with that opinion.
No, they are with me, but their tongues are in leash.
Maybe. But you are guilty and they are not.
There is no guilt in reverence for the dead.
But Eteocles, was he not your brother too?
My brother too.
And you insult his memory.
The dead man would not say that I insult it.
He would. For you honour a traitor just as much as him.
His own brother! A traitor or not, and equal in blood!
He brought war on this country. Eteocles defended it.
Even still, there are honours due all of the dead.
Never the same for the wicked as for the just.
Creon, which of us can say what the gods hold wicked?
An enemy is an enemy, even dead.
It is my nature to join in love, not hate.
Go join them. Then, if you must have your love, find it in hell.
The sea is many comes, those tears are sisterly
Clouded.
You too. This mini snake in my house, sucking my blood stealthily. And all this time I never knew these two sisters were aiming at my throne. Tell me, do you confess your share in this crime or do you deny it? Answer me.
Yes, if she will let me say so, I am guilty.
No, I will not allow you to. You would not help me, and I will not have you help me now.
Oh, but now I know what you mean. And I'm here to join you to take my share of punishment.
The dead man and those who rule the dead know whose actions these were. Words are not friends.
Do you deny me, Antigone? I want to die with you.
You will not lessen my death by sharing it.
But what do I care for life if you are dead?
Ask Creon. You're always hanging on his opinions.
You're laughing at me, Antigone. Why?
This is a joyless laughter, Ismene.
But can I do nothing?
Yes. Save yourself. There are those that will praise you. I shall have honour too.
But we're equally guilty.
No more, Ismene. No more. You are alive. You are alive. But I belong to death.
Gentlemen, I beg you to observe these two girls. One has now just lost her mind, the other, it seems, never had a mind at all.
Grief teaches the steadiest minds to wave a king.
Yours certainly did, when you chose to gild with the guilty.
How could I go on living without her?
You are. She's already dead.
But your own son's bride.
There are places enough for him to push his plough. I will have no wicked women for my sons.
Oh, dearest Tamon, how your father has wronged you.
I grow weary of your childish talks of marriage.
Would you really steal this woman from your son?
No. Dad will do that for me.
Then she must die.
You dazzle me. But enough of this talk. You there. Take them away and guard them well. For they are but women. Even brave men run when they see death coming.
Is it grief for Antigone?
Fortunate is the man who has never tasted God's vengeance, where once the anger has struck.
That house is shaken.
Forever.
Damnation
rises behind each child,
Like a wave cresting out of the black northeast.
and bursts drum in death upon the wind-whipped sand. I have seen this gathering sorrow from time long past, loom upon Oedipus's children.
Generation for generation.
Takes the compulsive rage of
The enemy god.
So lately this last flower of Oedipus's wine.
Drank the sunlight.
But now a passionate word
And
a handful of dust
have
has closed up all its beauty.
What mortal arrogance transcends the wrath of Zeus?
Sleep cannot lull him, nor the effortless long months of the timeless gods. For he is young forever.
And the house is the shining day of high Olympus.
All that is,
and shall be,
and all the past.
is his. Man's straying dreams may bring them ghosts of joy, but as they burst,
No pride on earth is free of the curse of heaven.
Or walk with fixed eyes, as blind men walk. For immortal wisdom is for our own time.
Fate works most for all, for folly's fairest show.
man's little pleasure is the root of all sorrow.
Is it grief for Antigone that brings him here, or the bitterness of losing his bride?
Mother! This cannot stand! You must change his mind! For me, mother! I beg you.
I have to stop this. I may be a queen, but I am a wife first. The duties of a wife are sacred.
How about the duties to this kingdom? Or me, your son! Your only son!
You must discuss duties. You think you can imagine this loss?
Imagine it. I'm living it. First, my brother, and now, my fiancée. Your future queen!
You've always been so stubborn. Ever since you were little. Playing with your brother. He stole your sword once. I remember your wailing cries. But you found another and you were just as happy.
Why must you bring this up, mother? I can't just be with another. Antigone is the one. She'll sit with me on the throne.
Son, you have heard my final judgment on that girl. Have you come here hating me? Or do you come with love and deference for whatever I do?
I am your son, father. You are my guide. You make things clear for me and I obey you. No marriage is more important to me than your continuing wisdom.
Good. That is the way to be. Subordinate. Everything else, my son, to your father's will. This is what a man prays for, that he may get sons attentive and dutiful in his house, hating his father's enemies, honouring his father's friends. But if his sons fail him, if they turn out unprofitably, what has he fathered for himself but trouble and amusement for the malicious? So you're right not to lose your head over that woman. Your pleasure with her would soon grow cold, Haman, and then you'd have a wildcat in bed and elsewhere. Let her find a husband in hell. Of all the people in this city, only she has had contempt for my law and broken it. Do you expect me to show myself weak before the people? Or to break my sworn word? No. And I will not. The woman dies. I suppose she'll plead family ties. Well, let her. If I permit my own family to rebel, how shall I earn the world's obedience? I'll have no dealings with lawbreakers, critics of the government. Whoever is chosen to rule should be obeyed, must be obeyed in all things, great and small, just and unjust. Haman. The man who knows how to follow orders, and that man only, knows how to give commands when the time comes. You can depend on him, no matter how fast his spears come. He's a good soldier, he'll stick them out. Anarchy? Anarchy. Show me a greater evil. This is why cities tumble and great names rain down. This is what scatters armies. No. No. Good lives are made so by discipline. We keep the laws then, and the lawmakers, and no woman shall seduce us. If we must lose, let's lose to a man at least. Is a woman stronger than we?
Unless time has rusted my wits, what your father says is with point and dignity.
Father, reason is God's crowning gift to man, and you are right to warn me against losing mine. Oh, I cannot say. Well, I hope she'll never want to say that you have reasoned badly. But there are men who can reason too, and their opinions might be helpful. You are not in a position to know everything that people say or do or what they feel. Your temper terrifies them. Everyone will tell you only what you like to hear. But I, at any rate, can listen. And I've heard them muttering and whispering in the dark about this girl. They say, never has a woman so unreasonably died so shameful a death for a generous act. She buried her dead brother's body. Is this indecent? She kept him from the dogs and the vultures. Is this a crime? Death! We should give her all the honours that we can give her. This is the way they talk about her in the city. You must believe me. Nothing is closer to me than your happiness. What could be closer? Must not any son value his father's fortune as his father does his? I beg you, do not be unchangeable. Do not believe that you alone can be right. The man who thinks that, the man who maintains that he alone has the power to reason correctly, the gift to speak to soul, a man like that, when you know him, turns out empty. It's not reason never to yield to reason! In flood time, you can see how some trees bend, and because they bend, even their twigs are safe, while stubborn trees are torn up, roots and all. The same thing happens in sailing. Make your sheets fast, never slacken, and over you go, head over heels and under, and there's your voyage. Forget you are angry. Let yourself be moved. I know I am young. I know I'm young. But please let me say this. The ideal condition would be, I admit, that men should be right by instinct. But since we're all too likely to be led astray, the reasonable thing would be to listen to those who can teach.
You will do well to listen to him, King.
If what he says is sensible, and you must listen to your father's advice, both speak well.
You think it right for a man of my years and experience to go to school? To a boy?
It is not right if I am wrong, but if I am young and right, what does my age matter?
You think it right to stand up for an anarchist?
No, not at all. I pay no respect to criminals.
And then she is not a criminal.
The city proposes to teach me how to rule.
And the city proposes to teach me how to rule.
Who is talking like a boy now?
My voice is a one voice giving orders in this city.
It is not a city that if it takes orders from one voice.
The state is the king.
Yes, if the state is a desert!
This boy, it seems, has sold out to a woman.
If you are a woman, my concern is only for you.
So, your concern. In a public brawl with your father.
How about you in a public brawl with justice?
With justice. When that all that I do is within my right.
You have no right to trample on God's right.
Fool! Adolescent fool! Sold out to a woman.
You will never see me taken in by anything vile.
Everything you say is for her.
And for you! And for me! And for the gods beneath the earth.
You'll never marry her while she lives.
Then she must die. Her death will cause another.
Another. Have you lost your senses? Is this an open threat?
There is no threat in speaking to emptiness.
I swear you'll come to regret the superior tone of yours. You are the empty one.
If you were not my father, I'd say you were perverse.
You girl-struck fool! Don't play at words with me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You prefer silence.
Oh my God. I swear, by all the gods in heaven above us, you'll watch it. I swear you shall. Bring her in. Bring the woman out! Let her die in front of him. Here, this instant, with her bridegroom beside her.
Not here, no! She would not die here, King! And you would never see my face again! Go on raving! As long as you have a friend to enjoy you!
Gone, gone.
Creon, a young man in rage is dangerous.
Let him do, or dream to do, what a man can. He will not save those girls from death.
Those girls. You sentenced them both.
No, you're right. I will not sentence one whose hands are clean.
But Antigone, Creon.
I will carry her far away, out there, in the wilderness, and seal her in a vault of stone. She shall have food, as the custom is to absolve the state of her death. And there, let her pray to the gods of hell. They are her only gods now. Perhaps they will show her a way to escape death. Or maybe she'll learn so late that piety shown the dead is pity in vain.
love unconquerable.
Waster of rich men.
Keeper of warm light.
In the soft face of a girl. Sea
Sea
wanderer. Forest visitor.
And mortal man trembles before your glory. Surely you swerve upon ruin, and the just man's consenting heart. And you have made bright anger here strike
between father and son.
But nothing will conquer but love.
A girl's glance, working her will, her way to heaven. Who mocks at us, merciless Aphrodite? But I can no longer see what I see. Here comes Princess Antigone, who walks through the chambers, who all find sleep at last.
Look upon me, friends, and pity me. Turning back at the night's edge to say goodbye to the sun that shines for me no longer. Now sleepy death summons me down to Acheron, that sleepy shore. There is no bright song there, nor any music.
Yet not unpraised, nor without any honour, untouched by sickness, broken by no sword, you find your way to the underworld, as any woman found her way to death like you.
How often I have heard the story of Niobe, Tantalus's wretched daughter, and how the stone clung fast about her ivy close. And they say the rain falls endlessly, rifting soft snow. I feel the loneliness of her death and mine.
But she was woman born of heaven, and you are woman, a woman born. If this is not for you...
You laugh at me. Friends. Friends, can you not wait until I am dead? Oh, Thebes. Oh, men, many charioted in love with fortune. Sweet spring of dirge, sacred Theban grove, be witnesses to me. Denied all pity, unjustly judge, and think a word of love for her whose path turns dark under cold air, for there are no more tears. But you have touched it. At last. That bridal bed. Unspeakable. The horror of mother and son mingling. Oedipus, father and brother. Your marriage strikes from the grave to murder mine. I have been a stranger here in my own land. All of my life the blasphemy of my birth has followed me.
Reverence is a virtue, but strength must prevail.
Let me go then, since your words are bitter to me, and the very light of the sun is cold to me. Lead me to my vigil, where I'm to have no love, nor lamentation, no song, but silence.
If dirges and lamentations could put off death, men would be singing forever. Take her. Go. You know your orders. Take her to the vault and leave her there alone. Whether she lives or dies is her affair, not ours. Our hands are clean.
Oh, tomb. Vaulted bride bed in eternal rock. Soon I shall be with my own again, where Persephone welcomes the thin ghost underground, and I shall see my father again. And you, mother, dearest Polynices, dearest indeed, since it was my hand that washed them clean and poured the ritual wine, and my reward is a death before my time. death. But if the guilt should lie with Creon, who punished me, then I pray that your punishment equals my own.
O passionate heart, unyielding.
The guards will have good cause to regret their delaying.
Creon, yours is the voice of death.
I can give you no reason to think otherwise.
Thebes. And you, my father's gods, and rulers of Thebes. You see me now, the last unhappy daughter of a great line of kings. Your kings led away to death. You will remember what things I suffer, and at whose hands, because I would not transgress the laws of heaven. Come. Let us wait no longer.
All Danae's beauty was locked in a brazen cell, where the sunlight could come no more. A small room.
Still as any grave.
Enclosed her.
Yet she was a princess too.
And this rain of gold was upon her, O child, child.
No wealth in war
can prevail against the
untiring destiny.
Andrias' son, that furious king,
Bore the god's prisoner anger for his pride,
and sealed him by Dionysus in death's stone.
And his madness was locked up with his echoes.
set for the hatred for the queen he had imprisoned.
For he profaned against the rebels,
and fired the 9 implacable sisters that
Who
loved the sound of the flute,
and an old man,
till a half-remembered tale wrought horrors, where a dark ledge splits the sea, and double surf beats on the grey shores.
a king's new woman,
Sick with the queen he had imprisoned.
ripped out of his eyes with her own bloody hands.
4 times.
4 blind wounds.
Crying for revenge, crying tears, blood-mingled hands, piously born woman of heavenly birth.
So at last he went, with Todded mocked.
Thus is the way the blind man comes. Princes, princesses, lockstep. 2 heads lit by the eyes of one.
What new things have you to tell us, O Tiresias?
I have much to tell you, Creon. Only listen to the prophet.
I admit my debt to you. But what have you to tell us?
Listen, Creon. I was sitting in my chair of augury, at the place where the birds gather about me. They were all a chatter, as is their habit, when suddenly I heard a strange jangling in their note, a scream, a whirring fury. They were fighting, tearing each other, tying in a whirlwind of wings clashing, and I was afraid. I began the rites of burnt offering at the altar, but Festus failed me. Instead of a bright flame, there was only the sputtering slime of the fat thigh flesh melting. the entrails dissolved in grey smoke, and no blaze! This was a sign from heaven. The boy described it for me, seeing for me as I see brothers. I tell you, Creon, you have brought this new calamity upon us. The hearths and altars are stained with the corruption of dogs and carrion birds that clap themselves on the corpse of Oedipus' son. The gods are definitely prayed. The fire recoils at our offerings. Their birds of omen have no cry of comfort, for they are gorged with the thick blood of the dead. Ah, my son, these are no trifles. All men make mistakes, but a good man yields when he knows his course is wrong and repairs the evil. The only crime is pride. Give in to the dead man. Do not fight with the corpse. What good is it to kill a man who is dead? Think, I beg you. It is for your own good that I speak as I do. You should be able to yield. For your own good.
Seems that prophets have made me their special province. All my life long, I've been a sort of butt for the dull arrows of doddering fortune tellers. No, Tiresias. If your birds, if the great eagles of God himself came down and carried him stinking bit by bit, I would not yield. I am not afraid of pollution. No man can defile the gods. Do what you will. Go into business, speculate in Indian gold or that synthetic gold from Sardis. Get rich otherwise, and by my consent to bury him. Tiresias. It is a sad thing when a wise man sells his wisdom, lets out his words for hire.
Creon! Is there no man left in this world that...
To do what? Come, let's have an aphorism.
No man who knows that wisdom outweighs any wealth.
Surely as brass is baser than any baseness.
You're sick, Creon! You're deathly sick!
As you say, it is not my place to argue with a prophet.
And yet you said my prophecy is for sale.
The generations of prophets have always loved gold.
Well, the generation of kings has always loved brass!
You forget yourself! I am your king.
Yes, I know it. You're king because of me.
You have a skill. But you have sold out.
King. You'll drive me towards the...
Say them. Say them. Only remember, I will not pay you for them.
No. You will find them too costly.
No doubt. Speak. Whatever you say, you will not change my will.
Then listen, and listen close. The time is not far off when you shall pay back corpse for corpse, flesh of your own flesh. You have thrust the child of this world into living night. You have kept from the gods below the child that is theirs. The girl in a grave before her death, the other dead! Denied the grave! This is your crime, Creon. And the furies and the dark gods of hell are swift with terrible punishment for you. Do you wish to buy me now, Creon? Not many days, and your house shall be full of men and women, weeping, and curses will be hurled at you from afar. Cities grieving for sons unburied, left to rot at the walls of Thebes. These are my arrows, Creon. And they're all for you. But come, child. Lead me away. Let him waste his fine anger upon younger men. Perhaps at last he will learn to control a wiser tongue, a better head.
But now the old man has gone, King. I am old too, but I can never remember a time when he was false.
That is true. It troubles me. Oh, it is hard to give in, but it is so much worse to risk everything for stubborn pride.
Creon, take my advice.
What shall I do?
Free Antigone from her vault and build a tomb for Polynices' body.
You would have me do this?
Creon, yes. Go quickly. God is swift to cancel the folly of stubborn men.
I will do it. I will not fight with destiny. I will go. I buried her. I will set her free. Oh, quickly! My mind misgives. The laws of the gods are mighty, and it is a duty of man to obey them to his last day.
O Aeacus, son of Cadmean Semele,
O born of the thunder, guardian
of the west, regent of Ulysses' plain,
O prince of mean Thebes, and the dragon field of Weparin Ismenius,
God of many names,
the flame of torches flares on our hills.
the
nymphs of Iolcos dance at the spring of Castalia
from the
through an enclosed mountain.
come in, ivory.
Evohe, sing through the streets of Thebes, God of many names.
Aeacus of Thebes, heavenly child of Semele, bride of the Thunderer.
The shadow of plague is upon us.
Come with clement feet.
O come from Paranos, down the one slopes, across the Mametin water.
Eel
fire, chorister of the throbbing stars, O purest among the voices of the night, thou Son of God, blaze for us.
Come with choric rapture,
circling Menads, who cry, Io, Ioke,
God
of many names!
Men of the line of Cadmos, those who live near Amphion Citadel, I cannot speak on the condition of human life. This is clearly good, this is clearly bad. Fate casts down the happy and unhappy alike. Take the case of Creon. He was happy, as I can recount happiness. Sole governor of his land, father to children nobly born. That has gone from him now. He's grant him rich in that great house of his, but when life's joys fails, he is but a walking dead man, a shadow for all he owns.
Your words hint at sorrow. What is your news for us?
They are dead. And the living are the guilty of the dead.
Who is dead? Who is guilty? Speak!
Haman. Haman is dead. And the hand that killed him is his own.
Tiresias, how clearly you saw it all.
This is my news. You must draw what conclusions from it you can.
But look, Eurydice, our queen, has she overheard us?
I've heard something, friend. As I was unlocking the gate of the palace shrine, for I needed her help today, and I heard a voice telling of some new sorrow. And I fainted there at Timble with all my maidens about me. But speak again, whatever it is, I can bear it. Even I am no stranger.
My dearest lady, I will not try to comfort you, because comfort can only lie in what is not true, and the truth is always best. I went with Creon to the plain where Polynices was lying, his body ravaged by dogs, no friend to pity him. We bathed the body in holy water. We gathered freshly broken twigs and buried the body. Upon an urn, we gathered his land in a burrow. And when we were done, we went to the cavern of stone where Antigone lay, and one of the servants went ahead, and the air filled with wailing, and Creon told us all to make haste. He said, "Is this some cruel deception of the gods? Is that my son's voice calling me on? Oh, quickly, quickly," he said, weeping. "Is that my son in there?" We obeyed, and in the farthest corner, we saw Antigone. She had made a noose of her fine linen veil and hanged herself. And Haman, his hands around her waist, wailing and lamenting her. Creon stepped forward and said, my son, what are you thinking that makes your eyes so stranger?" But Haman said nothing to his father, but spat in his face. He pulled out his sword and lunged. Creon shrank back, but Haman, besides himself, had already ploughed the blade halfway into his side. And as he died, choking on his blood, he let out a curse for his father, the murderer of his bride. And now he lies, dead with the dead, married in the place of the dead.
She has left us without a word. What could this mean?
I do not know. It worries me also.
For I fear this deep silence.
I will go see what she's doing.
But here comes Creon, bearing his own damnation in his arms.
Nothing you say can touch me anymore. My blind heart has led me from darkness to final darkness. Here you see the father murdering, murdered son, and all my civic wisdom. Haman, my son, so young to die. I was a fool.
This is the truth, but you are late in learning it.
This truth is hard to bear! It seems that God has crushed me beneath the heaviest weight of heaven, and driven me headlong a barbaric path to trample out all that I held most dear. The pains that men will take to come to peace.
The burden you carry in your hands is great, but you will find more pain in your house.
What burden worse than this shall I find there?
The Queen is dead.
Oh, port of death, deaf world, is there no pity for me? And you, angel of death, I was dead, and your words are death again. Is it true, boy? Can it be true? Is my wife dead?
You can see for yourself.
Oh, pity! All true, more than I can bear. Oh, my wife, my son.
She stood before the altar. Her own hand guided the blade into her heart, and as she died, she let out a breath. For Megaris is dead. Haman, her son, dead. And with her last breaths, she let out a curse for their father, her husband, the murderer of her sons.
Oh, God. Oh, I am sick with fear. Has no one a sword here? Has no one a blow for me?
Her curse of death is upon you.
It is right that it should be. I alone am to blame. I know it, and I say it. Lead me away. Quickly. Friends. I have neither life nor substance. Lead me away.
You are right. If there could be right
right
in
and
so much wrong, the briefest way is best in a world of sorrow.
Let it come. Let death come and be kind to me. I would not ever see the sun again.
All that will come when it will, but we, meanwhile, have much to do.
Leave the future to itself.
I poured my whole heart into that prayer.
Then do not pray anymore.
The sky is deal.
Lead me away. I have been rash and foolish. I have murdered my wife and my son. I look for comfort. My comfort lies here dead. Everything I've put my hand to has come to nothing. Fate has brought all my pride to a whisper of dust.
There is no happiness where there is no wisdom. No wisdom but in submission
to the gods.
Big words are always punished, and proud men in old age learn to be wise.
And that's the end of the show. Thank you all so much for coming. If you do want to come and speak to any of them afterwards, feel free to. Yeah. Thank you again.